going on, man?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. So what do you think?
Definitely different. They changed it again.
Well, I can tell you what, you're probably not going to be doing any aftermarket headlights in these. Those headlights are pretty nice.
They'll make it happen.
The interesting thing is they're still using incandescent down here, but they're using LED up top. Now, I believe you can get a model that has LED on the bottom as well, but on this particular package, which is almost $60,000, it doesn't. I mean, I think it looks okay. A lot of people have commented they don't like the size of the tires. They wish they were a little bigger, but I honestly think they kind of look like OEM tires in terms of size. I mean, You can't expect something a lot larger. The problem is if you do want a larger tire and you get this package, you've spent a lot for that wheel and tire package.
No, that is just a regular shock. That's not anything really.
It's supposed to be their tuned Rancho shock, and it has a 2-inch spacer on it to make it the Trail Boss package.
Yeah, so usually a spacer would be like down here where it's like a little clip that wraps around the shock, but I think just Rancho, they just did a 2-inch like a shock extension on the Rancho shock.
Well, what's interesting is you can't turn on the lights in the bed from the bed.
Okay.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, Ram and Ford both have a switch in the bed to turn the light on.
That's correct.
And this truck, I was looking for one. Those are little rubber grommets. I already popped those out up top. But I have not found any way of turning the lights on from the bed of the truck. Of course, Robbie's got to crawl under the truck and start knocking on things.
I'm sorry?
No, I'm just talking on the camera.
Okay.
Oh, there he is. He's a cute little fella.
Fits.
All chases in training.
Yep, man, you are a star of the show. Everybody loved this girl.
Yep.
And just wait till this guy learns. He's gonna be lib.
You're gonna get them all their own bump stop.
Trust me, they'll find their own bump stops.
And this is my first look at this. I believe it's the 5.3 liter Ecotech. So I made a good point here. How are you going to replace this with an aftermarket bumper when such a large portion of the factory bumper is kind of integrated into the fender? That's going to be a really interesting truck to put an aftermarket bumper on, if it's even possible. If they do, it's going to be very technically difficult to engineer a bumper without having to make a ton of bends in it to kind of slope around the way that this bumper does. So what's going on, guys? So several months ago, I created a video talking about some things I regretted about my 2017 F450 King Ranch truck. Basically, some of the things I think Ford could have thought out better. For instance, putting auto-leveling headlights, so regardless of the load in the back of your truck, your headlights will automatically adjust down against the road the way they're supposed to. Because right now, if I have a very heavy load in the back of my truck, my headlights could very well be blinding oncoming traffic. I thought that should be something that's pretty standard. Secondly, I talked about the door handle, how when you reach in to unlock the door, because it uses the keyless fob, your hand triggers the door lock or unlock mechanism as you reach your hand into the handle, and how sometimes that mechanism is delayed and it doesn't respond as quickly as it could. And I made a comparison in that video to Lexus, and I said how Lexus and Infiniti have a system that works more intuitively and better. A lot of people criticized that video because they said, well, Lexus doesn't even make trucks. How can you compare? Well, I really don't care if Lexus doesn't make trucks. What I care about is the fact that if you're paying a lot of money for a vehicle, you should expect high quality. You should expect parts and components to function as well on a truck as a car if they're supposed to do the same thing. Or if there's a feature that makes sense on a car or an SUV, why not put it on a truck where it could be even more practical? For instance, reverse cameras and parking sensors. That's something trucks should have had from the early stages before cars were getting it, because arguably they're larger and harder to maneuver than a car, and they're something that would just help. 360-degree cameras, something else trucks should have probably gotten before cars. Now, the point of this isn't to argue, well, maybe you should buy a Lexus instead of a truck, even though Lexus doesn't make trucks or Infiniti doesn't make trucks. The point is that trucks are getting so up there in price, they're getting to be such expensive vehicles, that when they put the type of technology you see on a luxury car in a truck, you should have the expectation that that technology is going to work as well and be as intuitive. Let me give you an example. My daughter drives a Lexus. She has a Lexus SUV. My truck costs as much as 2 of her SUVs. Yet I believe that the technology in her SUV is more intuitive than the technology in my truck in terms of some of the things I'm talking about. Auto leveling headlights, the door handle where you touch it and it responds quicker and better. If you're going to put technology in any vehicle, and that technology is supposed to accomplish a similar task, then the goal should be to make it work as effectively and efficiently as possible. So just because I bring up a Lexus doesn't necessarily mean I should go out and buy a Lexus if I want something to work well. In the past, that may have been the case where when you bought a Lexus, Mercedes, or BMW, you were going to spend $60,000 to $100,000 versus your typical Ford vehicle, which might be $20,000. That's not the same anymore. And that's just how the market has changed. This Silverado that I'm in is almost $60,000. There are several Lexus SUVs and cars you can buy for under the cost of this truck. So you should expect that this truck's technology should perform just as well as the technology in a Lexus. I just think that that is something that consumers should expect from domestic automakers who are now putting in a lot of the stuff that you're seeing in luxury vehicles or that have been in luxury vehicles for a while. In many cases, the components to do these functions are the same across all manufacturers. I mean, think about it. If you drive a dually pickup truck from Ram, Ford, or GM, and you're hauling 3,000, 4,000 pounds worth of fifth wheel or gooseneck weight in the back of your truck, and your headlights are pointed up an additional couple of inches, which down road is a big difference, wouldn't you like them to be able to auto level themselves back against the road, similar to how Cadillac and Lincoln do it in their vehicles? Wouldn't you like your door to respond quicker and work better? Having features are great, but having them work the way you want them to work is even better, and I think that's the key. Manufacturers need to start paying attention to getting things to work right versus just adding a checkbox. Now, something I can tell you is that there are several things about this truck, this Trail Boss, that I really like. For instance, I like the fact that they still use a keyless fob with push-button technology, but they put a dedicated button on the outside of the door that you're going to use to either lock or unlock the vehicle. So when you walk up, there's not going to be a guessing game on if the door is going to unlock when you reach your hand into the handle. On this truck, you know you have to press the button to either lock or unlock the vehicle, and you don't have to have the key in your hand to do it. The key, of course, can be in your pocket. I like the fact that they put that on all 4 doors as well. So traditionally in my truck, I have to walk up, unlock the driver's side door, open the driver's side door, then unlock all of the doors, or I have to unlock the doors from the passenger side to unlock all the doors. In the case of this truck, I can go to any door, I can press the button, and I can unlock the door. And that really is something that just makes sense. I still believe a truck like this, especially half-ton trucks, should have auto leveling built into their headlights. These LED lights are incredibly bright, and they can clearly blind people that are driving towards you if your headlights are pointed up at them. Having the ability to level them out automatically with a load in the back should just be a standard safety feature because it benefits other drivers more so than it does the driver of the truck. Anyways, guys, I just wanted to make a real quick short rant video about this topic because it's something that I felt I needed to respond to. Guys, if you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and I will talk to you again very soon.